GB's here of Into the Squared Circle podcast, and welcome to another kick-ass episode. And yes, this episode I'll be talking about AEW Dynamite this past Wednesday on TBS. I'm going to cut through all the bullshit. Let's get to my top 2 favorite moments on TBS and AEW television, of course, this past Wednesday. Which top 2 that I enjoyed? Stay tuned. By the way, follow me on my social media platforms, Into the Square Circle Podcast, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, right here on YouTube and Twitch. And by the way, Into the Squared Circle Podcast, especially if you're a new listener, available on all major podcasting outlets like Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and so many places. So wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, type in Into the Squared Circle Podcast. All right, let's get the party started. Let's talk about my top 2 favorite moments on AEW television on TBS right now, right here on Into the Squared Circle Podcast. So welcome to another YouTube video of Into the Square Circle Podcast. In this episode, as I mentioned in the intro, talking about AEW Dynamite. I will give you guys my top 2 favorite moments from AEW television this past Wednesday on TBS. Now, right here on the podcast, I will be featuring 2 audio clips. Obviously, the first one of Tony Khan announcement, of course, on TBS this past Wednesday. And the second one is the Don Callis promo. So I kind of spoiled it for you guys. Some of the extra content is not featured on YouTube. So that's why I highly suggest you guys hopping on to the podcast, Into the Square Circle Podcast, wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. So check out those outlets like Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, yada, yada, yada. Check it out right now. Why not? Hit the subscribe button since you're over there. And if you don't want to, and you just want to watch the YouTube video, feel free to pause it. Watch those 2. As I mentioned, the Tony Khan announcement and the Don Callis promo. Feel free to stop this and watch it, and then come back to this video, and then let's discuss. Again, from a fan to a fan. All right, let's talk about this stuff, man. So my top 2 favorite moments on AEW television on TBS this past Wednesday. Let's talk about the first one. Okay, let's talk about the first one. Right here on the podcast, I will play the audio. Okay? Podcast land, you will hear the audio. You guys will figure out what is my number 1 pick. And I'll hit play right now in podcast land. And that's where I turn to YouTube, and you get to see the behind the scenes and what I do a podcast. Now I'm going to play the audio. And now I'm going to hop back out live on the air right now. And let's talk about the Tony Khan announcement. Another week. This got to be, 3 to 4 weeks of seeing Tony Khan on television. And the last episode I did, which was on the review of Night of Champions from WWE and AEW Double or Nothing and Monday Night Raw in the mix. And once I finish up that episode, right on social media, AEW has announced that Tony Khan will make an announcement. Oh, another one. All right. This is 3 or 4 weeks now we've seen Tony Khan on television. Is he too used to being on TV? So the promo of Tony Khan, if you watched it on TBS this past Wednesday, seemed like Tony Khan is in the same spot he's been in the past 3 weeks, apparently reading a teleprompter, saying the same words, And shit, he's probably wearing the same suit he's been wearing the same past 3 weeks. Hello, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is the same thing the past 3 weeks. At least it's not cocaine Tony Khan. Man, just all over the damn place. But Tony Khan came out and he's like, hey guys, the big announcement I'm going to give you guys for June 17th, right here in Chicago at the United Center. It's going to be featuring no other than CM Punk. So now it is official. The rumors, gone. Rumors are gone. Now, it is officially announced by Tony Khan himself, CM Punk, Chicago's very own CM Punk, will make his long anticipated return to AEW Collision on June 17th, the debut show at the United Center in Chicago. And a couple days later, they will be back in Chicago and for Dynamite at the Wintrust Arena. So a double dose of AEW in Chicago at 2 different locations, not too far from each other. So let's talk about this. On the podcast, I played the clip. You heard the crowd reaction. And if you watched it this past Wednesday, it was a big pop. A big pop. But there was also a little bit of mix. It's probably what's the percentage here? Maybe 75% of the crowd was cheering. Maybe 30 to 35% were actual boos. And yes, boos are a lot louder than cheers. Okay? Boo! Yeah. Again, I'm just I know, lame, right? But if you watch it back again, it's like a mixed reaction. Okay, G, why? Why is there a mixed reaction? Well, if you've been keeping tabs on the podcast, been keeping tabs through the wrestling tabloids, you kind of figure all the drama, all the bullshit. With CM Punk also dropping these cryptic messages in his Instagram post, it's pretty obvious that fans are tired of all the drama, tired of all the BS between not only Punk and the Elite, but also Punk and apparently with, Wrestling Observer, the dirt sheets, okay? They're just spreading out these false information, and it seemed like every time there's something comes up, it seemed like it's just, I don't know, to me, I feel like it's hurting, I don't think it's hurting business, like, okay, the words to describe this, we know ratings are down, okay, ever since Punk's departure, and with Punk being in the press, either through rumors or Punk laying down the law with these cryptic Instagram tweets or posts, it puts out a bad impression for people. The way they look at him, the hero, the savior for AEW. Now that's putting bad taste in the people who are loved. Maybe the people that still love him to right now, ever since this announcement. But also puts a sour taste, at least in my mouth, and I'm a big fan of CM Punk, okay? I'm a big fan of CM Punk. I'm a big supporter, but with all this nonsense and the delay of events has been happening the past couple weeks and months, kind of put a bad sour to my face or my mouth, okay? Put a bad sour in my mouth. And well, I mean, I'm happy. Of course, I am happy. I'm not going to be still pissed off about him returning. I'm happy he is coming back. We finally get an official announcement of his return. Again, with all this behind the scenes drama If it's true or not, I can't really confirm or not, but if Ace Steel's rehired, if Ace Steel's, Punk's best friend, is back behind the scenes being an agent, we don't know. We do not know 100%. There's no press release flyer of who's working behind the scenes. We don't know. Okay, as a fan, to the fans, we're going to speculate. Not spread any rumors, but, with all this being out to the press, to the public, it kind of put the bad taste in your mouth. And I don't know, maybe spoil a little bit. It's hard to describe the return of CM Punk, okay? But again, I'm happy. I know there's going to be fans out there that are currently not happy that he's back. Well, he's cancer. Why did you bring him back? You should have let him go, TK. Again, what's best for business. Sound like Triple H here, but best for business. They have a stadium they have to run in Wembley Stadium. In London, I should say. They have a giant-ass stadium with 70,000 plus fans. They got to entertain. They have All Out at the Sears Center in Chicago in Labor Day weekend. Last time I checked for Collision, the debut show at the United Center, I believe there's over 1,000 tickets left. I'm not sure if that includes resale tickets. Okay? As to seats, money, ratings. Who's going to put asses to seat? Look, we've seen Dynamite's been hitting an average rating of 800,000 viewers each and every week or lower. Remember when Dynamite was hitting 1 million viewers? You remember that? How long has it been since Dynamite had 1 million viewers? It's been a long time. It's been a long ass time since AEW Dynamite had 1 million viewers. Hopefully, Collision can contract, viewers, eyeballs. Hopefully, Collision will be a first-time success, just like Dynamite the very first time. Remember AEW Dynamite, the very first episode in Washington, D.C. hit 1 million viewers for the first episode, the first show. And hopefully we'll get 1 million viewers for Collision, and I hope that will help ratings each and every Saturday. I hope it'll help ticket sales for each event so far for Collision that's been announced. And I wouldn't be surprised. Our ticket sales is probably struggling in Canada for those shows, or the potential center in New Jersey. So this could play effect on ticket sales as well. So again, a business standpoint, okay? Keep that in mind, that this is a business. Tony Khan can't be spending money. He needs to make money, okay? In order to get these big contracts. And look, we know we got television money from the Warner Brothers Discovery. Okay, we know we got all those revenues and ticket gates and stuff, and merchandise as well. So there's a lot to it. But again, this is business for Punk to come back, and I'm very excited. It's my personal opinion. I'm very exciting. So that's my number one pick, an AEW Dynamite this past Wednesday at TBS. Let's talk about number 2, my second and final pick, a highlight from this past Wednesday on Dynamite TBS, and it was no other than Don Callis. Man, this promo was really good, but the reaction was shocking for me. Why is that, G? Right here on the podcast, I'm going to play the clip. Okay, I'm going to play the clip right now. Let me know what you guys think on the podcast land, okay? So I'm going to pause it here in podcast land. Play the clip. Now I'm going to go back on the air. And again, on YouTube as well, you can pause it, the video, of course, and watch the Don Callis promo. But I just played a clip right here on the podcast. Don Callis put on a great promo. And I tell you what, folks, my personal opinion as a fan, I love Don Callis as a heel. Why? Because he's best as a heel. You put him as a babyface with Kenny Omega and the Elite. As Chubbs will say in the movie, Adam Sandler movie, Happy Gilmore. Damn it, Happy. You acting like a damn fool. And that's what Don Callis is, a damn fool. As a babyface manager, and I don't like it. I don't like it. I enjoy Don Callis as a heel commentator in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Now, if you know what I'm talking about and you watch New Japan, you know Don Callis was a heel commentator and Kevin Kelly was a babyface commentator, color commentator for the English commentary for New Japan World. And I enjoyed Don Callis as a heel. He was very entertaining and very watchable between both men. And nothing against what New Japan has now for the English commentary, but I enjoyed Callis and Kelly. It was great stuff. And seeing Don Callis as a babyface at AEW, I didn't like it. I thought it was hokey. I thought it was cheesy. I just didn't like it. Now he's a badass heel manager, and I love it. And you put him as a heel manager, give him a mic, let him loose. And that's what he did. An excellent promo from Don Callis, and he should stick to this route for a while. And he came out with Konosuke Takeshita. Now, if you watch AEW Double or Nothing this past Sunday, Takeshita surprised at the main event of Double or Nothing, which was Anarchy in the Arena match between the Elite and the Blackpool Combat Club. Takeshita came in the ring and took out Kenny Omega. And then fans are like, oh my God. Takeshita's turning his back on his best friend, Kenny Omega. So, that being said, Don Callis will come out and cut a promo and reveal to the world his new best friend, Takeshita. And he said it in the promo, Takeshita is better than oh man, I'm having a draw blank here in my brain. Better than Okada. Ooh, man. Better than Okada. He's better than Riki Joshu. And of course, he ended the promo. Takeshita's better than Kenny Omega. He is the true family. And I tell you what makes this promo even sweeter is the heat. The heat from the crowd and the reaction. I was quite surprised. I didn't realize how much heat Don Callis had in San Diego, where Dynamite was live this past Wednesday on TBS. And man, I enjoyed it, man. It was great. Every time he speaks on the mic, the crowd gets louder. Because again, as I mentioned, boos are louder than cheers. And that crowd in San Diego hated Don Callis. And man, oh man, they chased his ass out of town. But man, that promo was great. And that was a Dominic Mysterio heat. Okay, if you know what I'm talking about, and you've been seeing Dominic Mysterio over there in the World Wrestling Entertainment, the WWE, every time Dom hits a promo on the mic, the crowds lose their damn mind. Or Pat Patterson will say, they're going bananas. Yeah, man, it was an excellent promo. And that's my second and final thought on AEW Dynamite this past Wednesday on TBS. I'm looking forward to see how this storyline will play between Don Callis and the Blackpool Combat Club, of course. And I'm looking forward to seeing CM Punk and see how things will play out on June 17th at Collision, okay? So, that being said, MJF, the world champion, is part of the roster. Maybe it'll lead back between MJF and Punk. I could be wrong, but we'll have to wait and see. So, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of story to be unfolded within the next couple of weeks, but I can't wait for Collision on June 17th in Chicago. And, yeah, man, good time to be a great pro wrestling fan.